Chapter 1 Live broadcast of the pursuit of the murderer, I am the real murderer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Live broadcast of the pursuit of the murderer, I am the real murderer. Early in the morning, Jinling City, a black car slowly drove to the Municipal Public Security Bureau, with several lines of large characters on the body of the car, Taiwan Novel Network, special car for the live broadcast of the pursuit of the murderer program. Today is the day when the program starts. As the most invested live broadcast variety show by the Dragon Country, the number of reservations for the live broadcast of the pursuit of the murderer has reached 12 million before the start of the broadcast, and it is very popular. The format of this program is really unheard of. They actually secretly designated the murderer to commit crimes freely. Although it is a simulated case, it is also quite exciting. Have you seen the new trailer? The whole process is unscripted. The murderer commits crimes at will and then escapes freely. The program team will also invite professional criminal investigation experts to solve the case, arrest the murderer, and restore the most realistic scene of solving the case and chasing the murderer. It's fun, or the official is fun. I guess the person sitting in this car is a criminal investigation boss. I heard that the experts were invited from all over the country, absolutely hardcore. Compared to the criminal investigation experts, I care more about the secret selection of the program team. The murderer is the most mysterious one, and there is no news so far. To be able to deal with these experts, this person is definitely not an ordinary person. Committing crimes and escaping in a vast city, law-abiding citizens like us will never have such an exciting experience in our lifetime. Don't be so sure, maybe he will be caught directly. With criminal investigation experts from all over the country taking action personally, how can there be fish that slip through the net? Even Kaito Kid will have to go to jail. That's true. After all, official programs are still based on educational significance. The black car drove by, and many young people on both sides of the road pointed and talked. Some people even took their mobile phones to take pictures of the program team's vehicles. Unfortunately, the one-way glass of the car was pitch black, and the situation inside could not be seen from the outside. In the car, the atmosphere was extremely quiet, completely different from the noise outside. A young man with a square brow sat in the back seat, with a calm temperament. Beside him, a police officer in police uniform, who is also a staff member of the program group, is slowly taking out a silver card from the envelope. Su Chen, I am conveying on behalf of the program group that your identity is the murderer. In the next 3 days, you can commit any form of crime, and the program group will be responsible for communication and cooperation. But please note that it is a simulated crime, and you cannot do anything that actually harms others or disrupts society. In addition, when you start to act, we will turn on the micro eyes around you and broadcast your entire action to the entire network. Of course, the expert group will prohibit watching and broadcasting related content. While the staff read out the basic rules to Su Chen, they looked at Su Chen with curiosity and a little regret. When the program group finalized the murderer, he looked at Su Chen's resume. Don't look at this person who is only 22 years old this year, but in fact, he has graduated from the criminal investigation school for 8 years. Every profession has its own top talents. Once, Su Chen was a child prodigy in criminal investigation and was regarded as a future leader. Unfortunately, after graduation, he did not listen to his teacher's advice and go to the front line to make meritorious deeds, but chose to bury himself in a series of old unsolved cases. These cases are old and lack evidence. The witnesses and victims' families have scattered or even passed away. It is as difficult as climbing to the sky to solve the cases. The cases are unsolved and justice is absent indefinitely. Perhaps he wanted to return the absent justice to the victims. Su Chen wasted 8 years in these incomplete cases. Then, he had no achievements, exhausted his energy, and was lost in the crowd. This time, the program team chose him as the murderer because Su Chen did have rich case knowledge. At the same time, this was the last chance given to Su Chen by the senior public security officials. If he could not show his ability, his career would end here. On the seat, Su Chen was not surprised on the surface when he heard that he was the murderer, just calmly said. Give me 3 days to commit the crime. So will the expert team start to act after 3 days? The staff nodded. This is one situation. There is another situation, that is, your crime scene and evidence are discovered in advance. At this time, the expert team will directly start to solve the case. This is not only a description of the rules, but also a reminder, advising Su Chen to plan before taking action. In 3 days, the case can be arranged very carefully, otherwise, if you rush to commit the crime, there will definitely be many loopholes, which will give the expert team a handle. I know. Su Chen nodded and sighed imperceptibly. No matter how you think about it, the rules of this variety show are too weird. If it is put in the world before he crossed over, it would be impossible to pass the review. Calculating it, it has been 8 years since he crossed over to this parallel world. The cause and effect of his participation in this weird variety show is really a bit complicated. At first, everything went smoothly. Su Chen, who was a police criminal investigator in his previous life, traveled to the body of an 8-year-old child in this parallel world. With the knowledge of his old profession, he quickly jumped 3 grades and became a famous prodigy in the Criminal Investigation Academy, graduating with the best grades. This caused quite a stir in the industry. Professors of the Criminal Investigation College and experts of the public security organs were all waiting to see what kind of achievements Su Chen would make. Even the senior officials of the public security department had noticed him. However, just when the seniors in the industry had high hopes for him and Su Chen was planning to make a big move, coincidentally, after he fainted one night, an abnormal thing appeared in his mind. It was an ancient room that existed only in his mind. Most of the room was submerged in darkness. There was only a square table with a large stack of case files on it. There were a few golden words engraved on the paperweight. If you want to solve a strange case, you must discuss its traces. When you look at those files, they are all unsolved cases from ancient times to the present, both at home and abroad. However, these files are all broken and incomplete. That night, in Su Chen's dream, there was another unicorn with eyes like lanterns, holding a warrant in its mouth, stepping out of the darkness. There were only 9 words on the warrant. The order must be obeyed, the files must be supplemented, and the star map is opened. Just as Su Chen took the warrant, the beast suddenly opened its mouth and bit his arm. Su Chen woke up with a start. He thought it was a dream, so he rolled up his sleeves and found several copper coin-sized teeth marks on his forearm, which were clearly visible. Su Chen admitted that he was scared, but he was also a little curious about what this star map was. Ordinary frontline criminal police could not access the files of unsolved cases, so Su Chen chose to retreat to the back and bury himself in the unsolved cases. In fact, he copied the answers frantically, studied the police files carefully during the day, and tried his best to complete the incomplete files at night. 8 years have passed since 007's life. After 8 years, he finally completed the incomplete files, and he was in tears. Su Chen submerged his consciousness into his mind and came to the room in his mind. The darkness in the room dissipated a little, revealing a jade wall with stars carved on the wall, but they were all dim. The files have been completed. According to the new prompts on the token, as long as I participate in the case, I can light up the star map. Su Chen thought to himself. However, because he had read the files for 8 years without any results, the public security department felt that he had almost forgotten the knowledge of criminal investigation in these 8 years, so when he applied to transfer to the frontline work, the people above rejected his request and arranged him to work as a civilian. But in this way, Su Chen could not directly participate in the case, so he had no choice but to sign up for the variety show, Chasing Murder Live. Only in this way can he participate in the case, even if it is a simulated case. The result, you tell me, I am the murderer. Su Chen was numb when he heard the news. He was the murderer, so how could he solve the case? I caught myself. He was about to complain. Suddenly, a bright light flashed in Su Chen's mind. Su Chen saw that a light spot suddenly lit up on the carved stars on the star map in his mind, and the light spot moved with his consciousness, and the row of star carvings on the far left was obviously in a state of being lit. Su Chen was stunned for a moment. Could it be that if you participated in the case, you could light up, even if you were the murderer? In his mind, he moved his fingers slightly and touched the light spot to one of the stars. Instantly, the star lit up. Su Chen then noticed that there was a strange pattern on the star, which looked like a hand. Chapter 2 Strange Ancient Events, Inexplicable Changes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2, Strange Ancient Events, Inexplicable Changes. As the hand-shaped pattern on the stars lit up, a text appeared in front of Su Chen. There was a thief in the streets. It was written in classical Chinese. Fortunately, Su Chen's Chinese knowledge was not behind, and he could roughly understand the meaning. It said that there was a thief in the folk in the old days. He had a unique skill and could take people's personal belongings in an instant without being noticed. His peers gave him a nickname, Ghost Hand. Later, the thief was caught by a man named Iron-Faced Man, and his hands were cut off for his crime. This man did not repent and cried in prison, "It's a pity that the skills have been lost." He cried for 3 days and died. After the text appeared, it was printed on the star map. At the same time, Su Chen felt a warm current flowing into his hands and flowing between the gaps between his tendons and bones. After a few seconds, the abnormality disappeared, but Su Chen felt that his 10 fingers had never been so flexible, as if he could explore the sky and take the earth, and he could do everything. Why do I have such a story in my mind? It seems true and false, and I don't know what it means. Moreover, this feels like the so-called lost ghost hand skill has been grafted onto me. Su Chen was stunned. When he saw the hand-shaped pattern, he thought he was going to be rewarded with the catching hand of the thief. After all, this is worthy of his identity as a policeman. How come the rewarded skill is the theft technique? He was just temporarily playing the murderer. Now he is not only a murderer, but also a criminal skill. Why does it feel like he is going further and further astray? After analyzing it, his current situation is a bit subtle. Su Chen didn't know about the test from the top. He only knew that if he was caught and his role was finished, he would have to return to the civilian department and never think about directly participating in the case, and the star map can only be lit up by participating in the case. In other words, this program is his only chance. From a small point of view, it took him 8 years to open the star map, and he has just begun to reap the rewards. It is impossible to give up at this time. In the long run, Su Chen wanted to know what was going on with this room that appeared out of thin air in his mind. When the darkness in one part of the room dissipated, the star map was revealed. So, were there other things hidden in the darkness elsewhere? Before he figured it all out, he couldn't be caught by the expert team. One person, facing experts from all over the country, escaped capture. It sounds a bit like a fantasy. Conventional methods are definitely useless. Su Chen remembered that the murderer of the last competition was a criminal master who was selected from the police system and had almost reached the peak in terms of criminal experience. Within a week, he was pulled out of the sewer by the police boss. When he came out, he was much thinner, dirty and smelly, and cried bitterly, saying that the times had changed. Therefore, Su Chen denied the usual idea at the first time, committing a random crime and then desperately fleeing. However, from the most basic game thinking, it is definitely necessary to use one's own strengths to attack the other's weaknesses. Su Chen didn't know whether the expert team had any shortcomings, but he was sure that he had a strength, that is the study of unsolved cases. If he can drag the other party into this field, Su Chen still has the confidence to deal with these people. He has studied unsolved cases of nearly perfect crimes for 8 years. These cases are his home court. The biggest difficulty at present is that the murderer and the members of the expert group are not allowed to watch the live broadcast. I don't even know who the expert group is, let alone pull their sheep's heads. Su Chen's brain turned quickly. A bold idea was brewing in his heart: know yourself and know the enemy. If the plan is to be carried out, you must take advantage of the time when everyone is not prepared, break into the police, take the initiative, contact the people of the expert group, and have a certain understanding of them. This is a risky move, but it is quite necessary. At the same time, beside Su Chen, don't you have any plans? The staff of the program group saw that Su Chen seemed to be in a daze, sighed helplessly, and couldn't help but reach out and pat him. If we don't do something, this car will drive directly to the Jinling Public Security Bureau. According to the rules of the program team, the murderer can move freely after being identified. Generally speaking, at this time, shouldn't we leave first and then make plans? But Su Chen has not reacted at all, which makes him a little anxious. However, what the staff member did not notice was that in the moment when his attention was distracted, a hand, like a flexible snake, got into his clothes, picked up a verification card in the inner pocket of his shirt. He touched the waist of the young man again and untied the leather holster of the police stun gun. The pocket was very tight, and the holster was even more difficult to untie. Feeling the touch from his hand and the movement of the other party's body, Su Chen's heartbeat was slightly hurried at this moment. After all, this was the first time he stole something after being a law-abiding citizen for so many years, and the person he stole was a policeman. However, having lived 2 lives, he was more calm. Su Chen started chatting with the other party and quietly diverted his attention. "I have no clue, what should I do?" The guy from the production team was very disappointed. "What about playing it bad? Wait a minute and drive into the police, aren't you walking into a trap? The murderer has finished killing before the show even started, so there's no need to shoot this live show." As a staff member of the program group, he couldn't just watch the program fail. "Su Chen, if you really have no other ideas, just listen to me. Let's go to a secluded place and change the car first. Anyway, stay away from the police station first, and then you can consider stealing a wallet or something. It's not easy to catch a petty thief." "Why are you looking at me like that?" Beside him, Su Chen's eyes were smiling. "Brother, are you from the local Jinling Public Security Bureau? I see that your uniform is similar to ours." The program group guy was stunned for a moment. "Yes, but I'm in the Changgu District branch. Our Jinling Public Security uniforms are the same. Don't you know?" After saying that, he looked at Su Chen strangely, expressing his incomprehension. "We were talking about business, why did this person start chatting?" "Oh, sent from outside." Su Chen was thoughtful. "Then do you have any acquaintances at the general administration, or people who can recognize you and know that you are coming?" "No." "Yes." The policeman's voice became more and more confused. "Su Chen, if you don't understand anything or have any difficulties at the beginning, just tell me. As a staff member, I will definitely help you." He now only hopes that Su Chen can act quickly, even if it's just a random thing. Although it is reasonable that the murderer cannot have assistance, this is the beginning stage of the program after all. In order to get the murderer on the right track, it doesn't matter if he lends a hand a little. Hearing him say this, Su Chen smiled. "It's inconvenient for me to wear plain clothes now, why don't you give me your police uniform?" The program team guy nodded anxiously. "Okay, give me my police uniform." He was halfway through the words, suddenly stopped. "Wait a minute, what did you say?" The program team guy thought he had heard it wrong for a while, and looked at Su Chen with wide eyes. Is this request out of line? Suddenly, he felt something shaking in front of his eyes. Looking closely, he found that Su Chen opposite him was playing with a familiar card in his hand. His head seemed to be struck by lightning, and he quickly reached into his inner pocket to fumble. As expected, there should have been my verification card in there, but now, it was empty. A bad feeling rose in the mind of the young man from the program team. This card was obtained after participating in the program, and it was used to prove that I was a participant. Each person in the expert group has a real name card, which is unique. As for these police volunteers, it is a universal card. The key is that the murderer has a special identity and no verification card is issued. Now I start to act. According to the rules, it is time to start the murderer's live broadcast. Without paying attention to the young man's strange look, Su Chen slapped the card on the chair. "I took the card myself, and I need your clothes. I plan to get closer to the expert team so that it will be easier to do things." The young man from the program team suddenly realized, he had anticipated many possible actions of Su Chen, but he had never thought that the first victim was actually me. Su Chen did not play by the rules, but the rules did not say that it was not allowed. However, he still sat there with a vigilant look. The program pursues truth, and the victim will also resist. Just by stealing a card, can he easily surrender? The young man pointed at the card and squeezed out an awkward smile. "Su Chen, you may not be familiar with the rules of the program. The victim is not a silent lamb. This is not threatening, not enough for me to listen to you." Bang! Before the voice fell, Su Chen slapped the stun gun on the seat. This is a non-lethal weapon commonly used by police, and one shot can knock down an adult. This, plus this, can you take off your police uniform? Su Chen asked calmly. The young man from the program team touched the empty pistol bag on his waist, stared at Su Chen like a ghost, and couldn't speak for a long time. You can take it off. On the other side, the headquarters of the live program group of the Pursuit of Murderers. At the time of the program's launch, various departments were very busy. The aisles were full of staff holding documents and instruments, squeezing around. Backstage studio, Chief Director Chen Qiming rested his hands on the table, staring at the big screen in front of him nervously. As an experienced director, he felt unprecedented pressure and challenges. The reason is simple, because in this variety show, the participants have too much freedom. There is no script restriction, and the participants are not professional actors. I am afraid that someone will do something out of the ordinary and make the situation develop in an uncontrollable direction, especially the most free murderer, and scrupulous. You can make a moth if you are not careful. Therefore, in the selection of the murderer this time, he moved a little selfishly, and according to his resume, he chose the most conventional and honest one. This man named Su Chen has been working on the files for 8 years. People around him all say that he is old-fashioned and his brain is not flexible enough. It's good to have a dull brain. Such a person may not have any outstanding performance on the show, but he is stable and will not do anything out of the ordinary. When you get older, you like to be stable. This time, Chen Qiming just hopes that he can land safely. Chapter 3. An expert of distinguished status. Is this Su Chen? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. An expert with a good status. Is this Su Chen? First switch to the live broadcast of the expert panel to let the audience and experts get familiar with it. Yes, writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. The live broadcast adopts a rotating format, and the images of the expert team and the murderer are alternately broadcast. Let me first give the picture to the experts, the positive image, which is quite correct. As for the murderer, according to Su Chen's temperament, he should be planning and there will be no action yet, on the screen. As soon as the live broadcast room on the official website was opened, a large number of viewers immediately poured in. The barrage was blurry for a while. Damn it, look what I found, the star-chasing live broadcast is on. I'm already lying on the bed, my phone is charged, and the drinks are ready. I can't wait, let's get started. This show must be exciting. Don't be like a certain animation that failed to live up to our expectations after waiting for so long. Look what you said, the variety show created by Yangsher and the Jinling City Public Security Bureau has hired a criminal investigation boss. It must be hardcore enough. How can it be good? Hee, I hope the murderer can run away for a little longer. I just love watching this kind of cat-and-mouse game. Don't get caught easily. Seeing that the live broadcast was broadcast normally and the number of comments and viewers increased at a steady pace, Chen Qiming breathed a sigh of relief. This variety show has started smoothly, according to the process. The next step is the appearance of the expert panel. He found a stool and prepared to catch his breath. However, there was no time to sit down. The door to the backstage studio suddenly opened, and the broadcaster responsible for the live broadcast of the murderer hurried in. Director, something happened. The murderer Su Chen committed the crime directly in the car. He has already stripped off our staff's clothes and is about to stuff them into the trunk. Upon hearing this, Chen Qiming staggered and took 2 steps back. Upon seeing this, the staff nearby quickly stood up and supported him on the left and right. Director Chen. Director Chen, are you okay? Chen Qiming had no time to respond and was busy taking a few deep breaths before he calmed down a bit. He admitted that when he heard the news, for a moment he thought his directing career was over. I'm fine. Chen Qiming stood up, adjusted his shirt, and turned to the broadcaster. Quickly, bring over Su Chen's live broadcast and let me take a look. Good. The broadcaster of Su Chen Live hurriedly ran back to his computer. The video of the miniature sky eye next to Su Chen was transferred to the big screen, in full view. In the back seat of the car, the policeman from the program team was wearing only his tank top and shorts, and he didn't dare to move. The culprit, Su Chen, had already put on the police uniform. The size is 180, and it even fits well. Everyone in the studio fell into silence for a while. Director, Su Chen moves so fast, what should we do now? That the commissioner responsible for managing the switching between live broadcast rooms broke the silence. Now that Su Chen has started taking action, according to regulations, Su Chen's live broadcast should be started immediately to show it to viewers across the country, but the director team's plan is to let the expert panelists appear first. Temporary changes to the plan will affect the sequence of the subsequent live broadcasts. If it gets messed up, it will be over. Chief Director Chen Qiming reached out and wiped it on his face. It is better to broadcast the experts' live broadcast first, but we can only compress the experts' appearance time. The time saved is reserved for Su Chen. After the experts' appearances are over, it will be transferred directly to Su Chen's live broadcast. Follow up Su Chen's actions in real time and let netizens see everything he does. Okay. Give an order. Everyone in the recording studio finally recovered from Su Chen's episode and resumed their original tense and orderly work. After a while, the high-definition footage of the remaining 5 miniature sky eyes was pulled out. The live broadcasts of experts began to switch to online live broadcast rooms. This is a busy time. Chief Director Chen Qiming stood in the hall for a long time. Then, he silently took out his phone and clicked on WeChat. Honey, if you have time, help me. Get the antihypertensive medicine from the bedside table. You may need it in the future, so prepare it first. At the same time, the major live broadcast platforms in Dragon Kingdom are in, Chasing Murder live broadcast. The barrage covered it like snowflakes. In less than 10 minutes, the number of viewers has reached 2 million. Such a surge in popularity has caused it to monopolize all live broadcast charts. Hello everyone, welcome to the Murder Chase live broadcast, jointly launched by Yangshi and Jinling Municipal Public Security Bureau. This program aims to help improve national security awareness and demonstrate the concept of modern criminal investigation power. I am the host Guang Quan, leading you into the opening of the expert panel. In the live broadcast room, in the spacious and bright conference room, Mr. Guang Quan, a professional host from Yangshi, looked at the camera with a smile. In order to increase the broad audience of the program, Yangshi even opened a small sign language window in the lower left corner of the live broadcast room. Following teacher Guangquan's introduction, the sign language teacher's face was expressionless. His hands flew up, and afterimages were danced. At this time, the lens of the miniature sky eye moved back and landed on the round table in the middle of the conference room. 5 people were sitting around the table. We have criminal investigation expert Chui Liwan. He has been in the industry for 30 years and has solved more than 100 major cases. Foreign media have reported that he is called the Oriental Detective. On one side of the round table, a thin old man stood up slowly with a kind smile on his wrinkled face. Only a pair of eyes were unusually bright and his eyes were as bright as lightning. Even the audience who were examined by these eyes across the screen had the illusion that they were known to everything. I couldn't help but feel numb. The old man's eyes were really sharp. I almost told him about stealing passbooks when I was a child. He has been engaged in criminal investigation for 30 years. He has solved hundreds of major cases alone and handled thousands of cases. You can imagine how terrifying this rich experience is. I heard that more than half of the powerful public security criminal investigation experts were brought up by him. It can be said that he has made immeasurable contributions. The program is awesome. They can invite big guys of this level to come out. The opening character is a King Bomb level. Many netizens swallowed their saliva secretly and couldn't help but cast their eyes on the remaining 4 people. The configuration of the expert group is not simple. What are these people? The camera continued to change. This time, it fell on a young man wearing glasses. He wore a white doctor's coat, half of his face was hidden behind a mask, and he was wearing a pair of gloves on his hands. It looks like a person with mysophobia. Teacher Guangquan's voice sounded at the right time. This is Mr. Qin Ming, the forensic doctor. He can make the dead speak and talk to the dead body. What's rare is that he is also a master of logical reasoning. The forensic mystery novels he wrote have lost millions of readers. Qin Ming, dressed in white, bowed to the camera. In the barrage, a large number of book fans immediately emerged and discussed excitedly, "Oh my God, it's Mr. Qin Ming. Isn't he updating the second part of Forensic Qin Ming? Why did he stop updating to participate in the show? It's the real person, it's the real person. Forensic expert, reasoning expert, rare amphibious all-rounder. With him on the scene, I'm afraid the murderer would not dare to commit murder at all. While the barrage was flying, teacher Guangchuan continued to introduce. We also have internet police expert Duan Yu and trace detection expert Wang Yanqing. One of them is an information catcher and the other is a tracking king. The former has all the authority of the public security network investigation, and the latter has all the collections of the Longwa trace information database. That the two middle-aged men in police uniform stood up and saluted the camera in a standard way, under the brim of the hat, their faces could not be seen, and the two men did not make any other movements. It looked ordinary, however. An expert immediately pointed out in the barrage that these two people should not be underestimated. This Internet police is not joking. He can call the information authority of the public security, that is, he can use the official black technology, such as directly locating your mobile phone. The network that goes in all directions is all his eyes. As long as you live in the information society, you have no secrets. Your address, all your passwords and card numbers are at his fingertips. Does that trace detection expert look familiar? Damn, isn't he the champion of the brain last year? The one nicknamed the human scanner. No details can escape his eyes. The audience was shocked and broke out in a cold sweat. No wonder these two are so low-key. Generally speaking, the talents engaged in this field have confidential files, and the names used in the program should also be pseudonyms. What a lineup of gods! Soon, the camera of the micro eye turned to the last person at the round table. This person's style is very different from the first four mature elites. She is a beautiful girl who looks young. The last one is by Su, a psychologist. At this point, Mr. Guangchuan, who has always been quick-witted, paused, even the rhyme was not pressed. Her information is currently confidential. As he spoke, Mr. Guangchuan looked away from the introduction in his hand and stared at the scholar-like woman behind him with some curiosity. Long before the live broadcast began, he already knew that there was a person with a particularly unusual identity in the expert group this time. Who was this person, and why did the program team keep it a secret? Could it be that she was special? And that person was not surprised to hear his introduction. She just stood up with a smile and bowed slightly to the camera. The puzzled netizens in front of the screen immediately felt that things seemed to be more interesting than they thought. Why is there another person who keeps it secret? Is it because her real job is special? Psychological experts should be very powerful. I heard that some big guys can walk on the street and observe everyone's demeanor to find out the fugitives hiding in the crowd. Anyway, these 5 people, a criminal investigator, a forensic doctor, a cyber police officer, a trace detector, and a psychologist, this is a standard task force composition. The pressure is on the murderer. I really can't think of how the murderer can survive tonight with such a strong lineup. If I were the murderer, I would definitely hide for as long as I can. While everyone was discussing, the introduction screen that I thought had ended suddenly shook. Then, the 6th screen appeared. In the screen, there was a young man in a police uniform. What's going on? Didn't they say that the expert team only has 5 core members? Could it be that we have donated enough to unlock the hidden hero? The audience was stunned. After a few seconds, someone suddenly noticed something unusual. The subtitle in the upper right corner of the live broadcast room had changed at some point, from expert team to murderer. This person in police uniform is the murderer. Audience. Chapter 4, Switching Bodies and Sneaking into the Police Station. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4, Hiding the Corpse and Sneaking into the Police Station. That eye in the picture, Su Chen was seen dragging out the staff of the program team with quick hands and feet. The staff member's expression was numb, he looked like a salty fish, and he was at the mercy of others. Su Chen opened the trunk of the car, carried him in, and closed it. The whole process went smoothly. After a set of procedures was completed, most netizens finally realized what had happened and frantically commented on the comments. Holy shit, he directly attacked the people on the show team. Is this okay? He is too courageous. What he wants to do next will not be what I think. The staff of this program team are also really miserable. They were originally the early stage guides, but they ended up being the victims, working 2 jobs by themselves, ha ha ha. What a blessing. Now audiences all over the country know him. After the show ends, he will definitely become popular. I would like to interview him. How does it feel to be the first victim? Haha. Next to the car, Su Chen carefully cleaned the surrounding marks and straightened out the wrinkles on his clothes. Then, he looked at the Jinling Municipal Public Security Bureau not far away. I think I committed a crime under the eyes of the police. For this program, the Jinling Municipal Public Security Bureau not only designated an office area as a meeting room for the expert group, but also provided a lot of police personnel. These police forces, invited by the program team, are used by the members of the expert team to form their own murder teams. After all, the program team strives to be real. It only has core members and no basic police force, so it does not conform to the realistic crime-solving configuration. Su Chen stepped towards the door of the police station. The most convenient way to get in touch with the expert team is to sneak into these police forces. The cards used by invited members of the police force are also universal cards, the same as the ones in their own hands. None of the policemen in the Public Security Bureau knew that the guy from the show was coming. Su Chen didn't even need to change his name in disguise to blend in easily. On the second floor of the Public Security Bureau, there is a special office for the live broadcast program. Solemn and quiet, the lights on the ceiling were shining brightly, and the walls were painted with blue characters on a white background, and the slogans that can be seen everywhere in the Public Security Bureau. The police are established for the public and law enforcement is for the people. Su Chen walked calmly and saw 2 police officers checking identities guarding the door of the expert team's office. He went up to them without stopping. I originally worked here, and I feel as familiar here as my home. In addition, there are many colleagues I know, so I can't arouse any suspicion along the way. This is also consistent with reality. After all, many people who commit crimes may be common and familiar people in our daily lives. Su Chen, that the police officer guarding the door clearly recognized the colleague in front of him who often hung out in the file room. He was a little surprised. It turns out you also submitted an application to participate in the show. Yes, I was lucky enough to be selected into the police reserve team. Su Chen answered with a smile and handed over the universal card in his hand. The police officer guarding the door scanned the card with the machine in his hand and verified that it passed. He handed the card back without any doubt and reminded. Hurry in, I guess you will be the last one to arrive. The experts inside have already started to choose their own team members. If you go late, you will be left behind. Su Chen nodded. There was a little accident on the way, so we were delayed for a while. Then, he left the police officer guarding the door and walked straight into the conference room. At the door, the policeman guarding the door watched him go in, muttering something in his mind. In my impression, this colleague named Su Chen has always been someone who doesn't care about foreign affairs and just reads files every day. It felt as if not letting him see the file would kill him. This time he actually took the initiative to sign up for a variety show. The sun rises from the west. I hope he can be selected and at least have some participation. The gatekeeper straightened his posture and withdrew his gaze. What he didn't know was that his face was now appearing on the big screen of the murderer's live broadcast, being washed away by various barrages. Ha ha ha, I want to know what this policeman would think if he knew that he had just put the murderer in. I really don't blame him. On the first day of broadcast, who would have thought that instead of running away, the murderer would come to the door himself? Su Chen's answer was also overwhelming. Was there an accident on the road? Indeed, he just stabbed a staff member in the back and switched positions with him. Ha ha ha. This murderer is really calm. Let me do this, face the police. Not to mention weak legs, at least he won't breathe too evenly. Entering the police station is definitely a risky move, but the experts on the team probably won't consider this possibility right away. The first step was unexpected. This murderer is a bit interesting. Whether he will win with a surprise move or kill him depends on his subsequent performance. The plot is more interesting than expected. A reality show is much more interesting than a spy movie. Su Chen is the whole show. I haven't finished my work yet. What should I do if I can't stop watching? Same feeling. Originally I just wanted to join in the fun, but I didn't expect that the director of the program team would be able to play. Su Chen was originally a police officer from the Jinling Public Security Bureau. He was chosen to be the murderer. What a talented director. At the same time, Task Force Office, a total of 100 alternative police officers lined up neatly on one side of the room. These people are all elites selected from the public security system. Their expertise spans from frontline investigation to rear-line information investigation, involving talents in all aspects. Several experts are selecting their own personnel in this queue. The program stipulates that each expert has the right to use a certain amount of resources and can select 3 to 5 people from the reserve police resources to form his own pursuit team. Anyone who is familiar with handling cases knows that in reality, police resources are the key to solving a case, too. People have already formed their own teams, and not surprisingly, they chose the highest configuration, 5 people. Mr. Chui has a very sharp vision in selecting people. They are all frontline criminal police and special police elites. Their mobility is absolutely guaranteed and is several orders of magnitude higher. Teacher Guang Quan went over to interview. The 5 people standing next to criminal investigation expert Chui Liwan stood like pine trees, with strong bodies and calm and serious expressions. The old expert smiled and said, "After all, I'm getting older and can't run on the front line like before, so I still need some help." What Chui Lao means is that he wants to be the brain. Teacher Guangchuan nodded secretly. The old gentleman has a very vicious vision, and the 5 elites he selected are all annual champions of the public security practice drills, and their mobility is naturally impeccable, coupled with the personal guidance of the experienced Chui Liwan. The overall quality of this team is extremely high and should not be underestimated. I saw that Comrade Duan Yu had also formed his own team. Teacher Guangchuan moved in front of the cyber police expert. I wonder what measures Officer Duan takes when selecting team members. That the microphone was handed to Internet Police expert Duan Yu's mouth. The network project is huge and cannot be completed by one person. I need help from some relevant talents. This is also what my plan requires. Duan Yu looked at the 5 public security network elites standing beside him, thoughtfully. Oh, Teacher Guang Quan keenly captured the key words and his eyes lit up. It seems that Officer Duan has formed his own plan to chase the murderer. Audiences can look forward to it in the next session. Work on forming the squad continues. While the experts are busy selecting personnel, the office doors suddenly opened. Su Chen walked in quickly. For a moment, everyone's eyes in the whole room fell on him almost at the same time. There are doubts and dissatisfaction. Chapter 5 Psychologists target Su Chen. Is he in danger? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5, Psychologists target, Su Chen is in danger. And when Su Chen appeared, in the live broadcast room, the bullet screen refreshed crazily. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. Here it comes, the murderer and the expert team are sniping at the middle door. Fuck, how dare he? All the people present are old criminal investigators. And there is also a psychological expert. As long as there is a little flaw, he will be discovered. Everyone is staring at him now. Look at that kind of look, hiss, it can directly suffocate people. All the experts are present, but unfortunately they don't know that they are looking at the murderer. In the office, under the pressure of everyone's gaze, Su Chen bowed and apologized, then glanced and stood directly in the team of police resources without hesitation. It turned out that he was a backup candidate for police resources. How could he come so late? It was live now. Teacher Guangchuan reacted quickly. He immediately hinted to the camera to turn to other pictures and not to shoot Su Chen. The police officer's lateness would damage the public image of the public security. In the live broadcast room, I'm afraid people have already started to complain. Why didn't the director team react to such a big mistake? As a participant of the program, Teacher Guangchuan couldn't see the pictures in the live broadcast room, so he could only sweat secretly. At the same time, Su Chen, who stood in the team, also felt some reproachful eyes. The public security is an organization with strong discipline. The selected police resources are all public security elites, and they have the opportunity to work with big experts in the industry. Due to the honor, these elites naturally want to show their best side to the experts, but the low-level mistake made by Su Chen obviously discredited them as a whole. I don't know how this latecomer was selected. The two police officers beside Su Chen frowned slightly and silently kept a certain distance from him, as if they were disgusted with him. Forensic expert Qin Ming's eyes swept over Su Chen without any pause. He would definitely not consider this person. As a case handler, it is a basic requirement to have a strong sense of time management. People with poor ability will only delay things and drag their feet. Another trace detection expert, Wang Yanqing, did not say anything. He did not even look at Su Chen, immersed in his own thinking. These situations were all within Su Chen's expectations. There are a total of 100 reserve police personnel, and the expert group can only select 25 people at most. He is unlikely to be selected. As long as he can stay in the reserve candidates, it will be fine. The remaining people will not go home, but continue to be reserve candidates. Once the case expands and additional police force is needed, they will come in handy. During this period, Su Chen has many ways to approach these experts and use the team to cover himself. Soon, the team of forensic Dr. Qin Ming and trace detection expert Wang Yanqing was formed. Su Chen was ignored, which is a good thing for him. After all, hiding in the reserve team is much more concealed. Is this Su Chen's plan? He deliberately arrived late to leave a bad impression and prevent the experts from choosing him. This way, he can keep a proper distance from the expert group. If he is too close, the risk of being exposed is too high. Why did Qin Ming and the trace expert only choose 4 people? When handling a case, the more police force the better. Who knows? They must have their own plans. Su Chen's goal may be to get these people's ideas. But once you try, there is a risk of being tried. If Su Chen tries to trap the expert, this is too risky. The other party is not an ordinary person. Netizens are still discussing. The only expert who has not finished selecting on the field is Su, a psychologist. The audience's eyes naturally focus on her. She has not chosen anyone yet, standing there, and has no intention of choosing. It seems that she wants to fight alone. Who is this person? Among these experts, she is the youngest, right? I don't know, but I care about her for some reason. Are you concerned about her appearance? I think she is just a vase invited by the program team to increase the ratings. Impossible. Yangshe should not do so many unnecessary things. The atmosphere on the scene cooled down for a while, and teacher Guangquan hurriedly reminded, Officer Bai, our program team's rules require us to choose people. But I really don't need to choose. The voice of the psychological expert Su was very soft and flat. She looked around at everyone with a pair of black pupils, and seemed to have no interest in these elites carefully selected by the police. However, when she saw the late police officer and saw his appearance clearly, she suddenly stopped. Su Chen. Isn't this person the child prodigy 8 years ago? He was very successful at that time, but later he cut off his career. How many people don't understand what he was thinking? Su's eyes suddenly became more exploratory. My teacher once said that a person's choice and behavior must be a reflection of his psychology. This person has a secret in his heart. I choose him. Su gestured to Su Chen. The field was much quieter for a while. Many of the waiting police officers showed surprised expressions, and some even turned around and looked at Su Chen in confusion, especially the 2 police officers beside Su Chen. Their expressions were puzzled. When Su chose someone just now, they thought she was choosing them, but it turned out to be the one beside them. I am not sisterly. Su Chen was also a little surprised. He clearly felt that the other party's choice had a strong purpose. A psychologist, choose me? Does she want to explore the secrets in my heart? Su Chen took a step forward. Let her study it. Even he himself can't figure out the strange things in his mind. It's strange that a psychologist can study it clearly. Who would have thought that he studied the 8-year file because of the big beast in his dream? Even if outsiders racked their brains, they couldn't guess it. Just choose him, okay? Psychologist Su turned around and asked teacher Guangquan, hundreds of elites, she had to choose the only one who was late. Was she afraid that her job was too easy? Teacher Guangquan also felt the pressure at this moment. He was also a person who hosted large-scale live broadcasts. but the brain circuits of the people in this variety show seem to be a bit strange, and they could always come up with some new tricks. It would be useless without the ability to adapt to changes. He felt that he was a little bit out of control of this program, but he still explained patiently. Ahem, Officer Bai, our program stipulates that the team must select 3 to 5 people, with a minimum of 3 members. Then add the 2 people next to Su Chen, so that the number is enough. Bai Su said lightly, the 2 police officers next to Su Chen. The choice of the psychologist also exceeded the expectations of netizens. Fuck, just after saying that Su Chen should stay in the reserve team, he was selected? He is in danger. This psychologist is obviously targeting him. Although I don't know the reason, staying next to such a psychological boss, you must be cautious at all times to avoid being exposed. Su Chen probably didn't expect that an expert would actually choose him. Did he miscalculate? Why not just go back and run away today? If he escapes now, isn't that equivalent to admitting that he is the murderer? I don't know if he miscalculated, but he will have to walk on thin ice in the future. It's a bit exciting. Am I the only one who noticed the expressions of the other 2 police officers? They were chosen randomly because they were close to each other, ha ha ha. I also think that Officer Bai might just want to make up the numbers. Bai Su's choice obviously also attracted the interest of other experts, so he is Su Chen. Qi Ming heard what Bai Su said before and recognized this celebrity from 8 years ago. Did Officer Bai take a fancy to his ability? Bai Su smiled helplessly. A child prodigy who has attracted much attention must have something special. At that time, Su Chen's ability was indeed outstanding among his peers. Cui Liwan, a criminal investigation expert, shot his eyes at Su Chen like an arrow. But he was a child prodigy 8 years ago. In the past 8 years, he has been engaged in file sorting and has never been on the front line of criminal investigation. And case investigation is a job that relies heavily on personal experience accumulation. Practicality is stronger than theoretical. In terms of practice, Su Chen has 0 accumulation. The old predecessors in criminal investigation spoke, and the people around were surprisingly quiet, all listening attentively. Mr. Cui Liwan reached out and pulled the collar of his shirt to cover the hideous scar that spread from his chest to his left shoulder. I once had an accident while handling a case. I lay in the hospital for 6 months without going to the front line. After I came out, I took over the first case, and I made several low-level mistakes that I had never made before. 6 months is still like this, let alone 8 years. Comrade Bai Su, I think you understand what I mean. I won't interfere with your choice, but you must be cautious. Chapter 6 The Layout of the Expert Team, a Dragnet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 The Layout of the Expert Team, a Dragnet. Cui Liwan, the senior, finished his speech. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. The other experts present also nodded slightly to show their agreement. The police elites lined up on one side looked stern, and many criminal investigators cast respectful eyes at the senior. 20 years ago, a serial killer wanted across provinces fled to Jinling City. The leader of the special task force in charge of the pursuit was Cui Liwan. It was a rainy night. The thugs knew that they would be sentenced to death if they were caught, and they attacked the police without hesitation. Cui Liwan blocked the fatal knife for his colleagues and firmly controlled the thugs. The accident that the senior mentioned lightly was this fight to the death. When the case was closed that year, he was awarded the first-class merit in peacetime. In the barrage, many netizens also knew something about what happened that year. After all, it was a major case. The old man was still very powerful back then. I think Mr. Cui's deed should be promoted more. Isn't it more meaningful than the young handsome guys on TV? The above, this is the meaning of this live variety show. I just realized that this variety show is used by Yangshi to promote the power of the public security, not to show crimes. It's all because Su Chen was too showy before. Ahem, that's it. In the conference room, Mr. Cui waved his hand at everyone who fell into silence. I'm not saying this to show off to the younger generation, just to remind them. Let's continue to discuss the plan to hunt down the murderer. Bai Su nodded and insisted on her choice, yes. When Su Chen heard the plan to hunt down the murderer, he immediately became alert. If you say this, I'll take notes. Forensic expert Qin Ming reached out to adjust his glasses. That being said, the identity of the murderer is unknown now, and we can't even be sure when and where he committed the crime. The murderer is only a murderer after he has committed a crime. If he hasn't committed a crime now, he is still an ordinary citizen, and there is very little we can do. As a forensic doctor and reasoner, Qin Ming's ability can only be truly exerted when he faces the crime scene, and these words have also won the approval of many netizens. Although Su Chen was listening on the side, what Qin Ming said made sense. Now for their expert group, everything is unknown. How can they do this? Unless someone accidentally opens the trunk of Su Chen's car and finds the staff member who was swapped, otherwise this program will not start. Another way is to wait until the 3-day deadline for the murderer has passed, and the program team announces the crime location, and then start chasing the murderer. At the moment, the biggest problem for the expert group is that if they don't find the case, there will naturally be no clues about the murderer. Does it mean that they have to investigate the entire city and find all possible crime scenes? After hearing what Qin Ming said, Mr. Chui Liwan smiled. I think there are still many things that can be done before the incident, and we can start. Upon hearing this, the camera immediately cut to Mr. Chui, and teacher Guangchuan handed over the microphone. Do you have a plan? According to the regulations of the program team, each expert can make his own plan to hunt down the murderer, and can mobilize some resources to carry out the plan. The program team will try its best to cooperate, will not ask, and the experts do not need to explain. Criminal investigation expert Chui Liwan nodded. My plan is very simple. The mass tactics, in simple terms, is to unite all the forces that can be united and kill the murderer's living resources. The live broadcast program of hunting down the murderer is very popular, and the popularity of the murderer can be imagined. This will hinder the pursuit work. I will issue a wanted order for the murderer and a punishment for harboring the murderer in advance, and establish a general atmosphere of hostility to the murderer in advance throughout the society, so that the masses and the murderer are in opposition. Is that okay? Yes, but the information sent by the masses must pass through the information filter, and no live broadcast-related information can appear. Teacher Guangchuan conveyed the feedback from the program team. Chui Liwan took out the smartphone from his pocket and swiped it skillfully. At the same time, I plan to find someone to make an app that specifically releases the public information of the murderer to the whole society in real time, especially analyzing all the crimes and escape methods used by the murderer, and updating the response measures in real time, so as to force the murderer to death little by little until he is at his wit's end. After Chui Lao finished speaking, 4 words immediately popped up in the minds of the people watching the live broadcast to describe it: unsolvable conspiracy. This plan seems ordinary, but it is terrifying when you think about it carefully. I was thinking before that the murderer could stay in the homes of civilians and might even be welcomed, but once the wanted order was issued, there would be punishment for harboring the murderer, which basically cut off this path. More than that, what Chui Lao meant was that he wanted to turn the murderer into a rat crossing the street. Our city lacks everything except people. The murderer can only hide in the dark and there is no possibility of seeing the sun again. The plan of the latter app is even more ruthless. He wants to block the murderer's way bit by bit. If one method succeeds, after being publicized and analyzed by the whole society, the murderer will not be able to succeed again, and he will soon be out of tricks. But there are exceptions. What if the murderer has too many tricks to use? Laugh. How is this possible? No matter how many skills you have, they will eventually run out. The key is that these plans are open and not concealed at all. Even if the murderer knows, there is nothing he can do. Su Chen is listening on the side. I am very curious about how he feels now, ha ha ha. It's even more despairing to know. It's better not to know. In the conference room, Su Chen stood aside, listening and nodding. The old detective was indeed ruthless, but he has a star map. In theory, if each star represents a skill like Ghost Hand, then he does have countless means. It doesn't matter if I escape for 10 years, I will lose if the tactics are repeated. but the premise is that he must study carefully how to light the star when he goes back. This app allows us to do it. Mr. Chui only needs to provide analysis and response plans. Beside Chui Liwan, Internet police expert Duan Yu said. It just so happens that my plan is based on the Internet, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to build another platform. Officer Duan, can you tell me something? Teacher Guangchuan immediately handed over the microphone. I will apply with the Jinling Public Security Bureau to use the newly developed facial recognition system of the public security system. In the past few days, I will try to graft this function onto all the cameras in the entire region, including street and highway cameras, residences, and even everyone's mobile phones and computers. Photography. Duan Yu's voice was calm, without any waves. In the end, an effect can be achieved. As long as the murderer shows up in front of the camera, he will be immediately detected by facial recognition. The system will directly call the police and send the real-time location of the murderer to me. This system is very sensitive, even if the murderer is wearing a mask. Can be identified. I named this system Skynet. Coupled with conventional cyber police methods, the murderer will have no way of hiding in modern society. Black technology, absolutely black technology. Another unsolvable conspiracy. Just listening to this description, netizens just felt like the hair on their back stood on their heads. In the city, those eyes everywhere are staring at you. This is equivalent to cheating. How can you hide here? You can't use anything with a camera, and you can't even go out unless you change your face. Laughing to death, if the Internet police want to arrest you, as long as you have a live mobile phone or electrical appliance next to you, they will be located at your door in minutes. This program really made me deeply aware of the terror of the Public Security Bureau. In today's Internet society, if you want to avoid being caught, you may have to go to an isolated island and become a savage. Su Chen has no expression. What is he thinking? He didn't dare to show an expression, but there was a psychologist standing next to him, and the secret was revealed with just a micro-expression. In fact, although the plan is very detailed, experts present generally feel that they are killing a chicken with a knife. To catch the murderer, there is no need for them to go to great lengths. The design of this link is actually the public security organs flexing their muscles to the society. The more power is displayed, the more desperate the murderer's situation becomes, and the more effective it is in deterring crime. So they don't mind blasting a mosquito with a cannon. After Chui Liwan and Duan Yu introduced their ideas, teacher Guangchuan subconsciously turned to the other three people. Forensic Dr. Qin Ming smiled and said, I can't play a big role now. As for the plan, I haven't figured it out yet. Trace detection expert Wang Yanqing also echoed. Me too. Neither of these two people mentioned a word. However, it is uncertain whether there was no plan or whether they did not say it out on purpose. Teacher Guang Quan walked to the side of the psychologist Bai Su. Officer Bai has any ideas for chasing the murderer? Can you tell me? That everyone in the conference room also cast their gaze over. The barrage in the live broadcast room instantly decreased a lot, and netizens were very curious. This expert has been the most mysterious since the moment he appeared. He doesn't know his roots or even his strength. Some people even think that she is just a flower vase, or that she brings money into the group. Now is a good opportunity to officially get to know her, to tell her plans and find out if there is anything real. Of course, she would probably choose to keep it secret, which would be boring. It can be said that my initial plan is very simple. Bai Su's words touched everyone's hearts. Then, she looked at Su Chen and the other two people behind her with a smile. The plan is that you are free to move around and do what you want. You can also ask me to reimburse you. Chapter 7 Iron-Faced Court, Su Chen's Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7, The Iron Man Court, Su Chen's Plan. As soon as this statement came out, the barrage in the live broadcast room disappeared directly. In front of the screen, there were dull faces. Netizens were stunned for a few seconds and forgot to type. What kind of plan is this? A bad plan? I'm getting more and more confused about what this person wants to do. Is she really serious? Perhaps this order has some special purpose. In the conference room, Su Chen glanced at the psychologist next to him, and frowned slightly. this is also a person who doesn't play by the rules. When I stay by her side, there are too many uncertainties, and there may be many unexpected risks, but there are also advantages, such as this free activity, which Su Chen likes so much. He has never heard such a strange request, so it is better to obey it than to be respectful. On the other hand, the two police officers beside Su Chen were well versed in the work principle of being obedient and doing things without talking too much, and they smiled happily. Officer Bai, can we do anything? For example, if we want to take a half-day off, is that okay? Next to Su Chen, a police officer in his 30s asked tentatively. It happens to be my daughter's birthday today. I originally said she couldn't go back because she had a mission, but this time I can give her a surprise. What a police officer wants most is not a bonus, but a vacation. They usually go on missions frequently, day and night, holidays and working days. They spend too little time with their families. Bai Su nodded, of course. At this moment, many of the police officers in the room looked at Su Chen and the others with envy. What kind of miraculous leader is this when he is given time off to participate in a show? Is it okay to commit crimes? Su Chen secretly cursed. In the afternoon, when the meeting ended, Su Chen slowly walked out of the door and arrived at the door of the Public Security Bureau. In the bleak wind of January, a beast roar suddenly came from his mind, startling him. Is that the big beast coming to find me? Su Chen's pupils shrank, then, he closed his eyes slightly and his consciousness sank into his mind. Soon, in the chaos, the surrounding scenery gradually became clear, the surrounding walls emerged, and a little starlight shone in the star map. On the desk directly opposite, candlelight flickered, and there were scattered files under the paperweight that I hadn't had time to sort out. In this space, Su Chen's own existence was substantial. He stepped forward to the star map where the black mist dispersed, and reached out to touch the fine carvings on it. However, the terrifying figure of the big beast was not seen. So, that roar was actually a reminder that something had changed in this room. Can you change the notification tone? This thing is so scary, it can easily scare people. Su Chen complained secretly, while picking up the token that the big beast had taken from the desk earlier, put it in his hand and patted it. Suddenly, something unexpected happened at this moment. The red letter on the token turned into cinnabar in an instant. Later, it condensed into different words again. The judge buried his head in the files, and his accumulation was thick but his hair was thin. The phoenix and the phoenix live in the courtyard, and their song is astonishing. The public's career has been completed. Now it is time to make his name known throughout the world, so that he can attract the attention of millions of people. So, this means that I want to improve my reputation as much as possible. Su Chen chewed the words on the token. Just after he said these words, the token seemed to have a response, and the cinnabar words on it scattered and compounded, condensing into a string of information. Today's public reputation, 1,361 items. Su Chen stared at the number for a while, then he came to the star map holding the token. His fingertips rubbed the rough texture on it, and the reminder of lighting up the stars instantly came to his mind. Reputation required to light up the next star, 1,000 eyes. Enough to light up. Su Chen was overjoyed and thought for a moment, maybe it was because of his previous behavior of subcontracting the staff of the program team that the live broadcast room became more popular. It turns out that this so-called reputation can be achieved through live broadcast, which is simply not too convenient. His eyes wandered over the star map, looking for the stars he wished to light. Then, I discovered that the patterns on it were incomprehensible at all. Forget it, I know too little information about this room now, so I can only choose one that is pleasing to the eye and light it up first. Su Chen's fingertips moved slightly and clicked on a star with a stove shape carved on it. Then, he felt the relief on his fingertips tremble slightly, and then, on the black star map, a bright silver star suddenly lit up. A line of text appeared in front of my eyes. There was once a strange man who made medicine. What it says is that in ancient times there was an alchemist who cheated. He could not make any forbidden medicine without him. People could not withstand the temptation and suffered greatly from it. Later, this man was caught by Iron Mask and sent to prison. In order to prevent others from discovering his formula, he actually swallowed the alchemy book he wrote alive, and then died of gastrointestinal obstruction. The Iron Masked Man, it's this guy again. The so-called alchemy in ancient times was actually the prototype of modern chemistry. Su Chen felt countless chemical knowledge pouring into his mind, and this knowledge was not just empty talk, but seemed to have been obtained through countless practices. Among them, there are even formulas and preservation methods for various explosives. Some formulas require materials that are almost not difficult to obtain. What dangerous knowledge! Su Chen searched the knowledge in his mind, and his body shook. When he came back to his senses, he found that his consciousness had left the room in his mind, and the scene in front of him was outside the Public Security Bureau. In front of the door, cars rented by the program group drove in and out, and Mr. Chui and the Internet Police Duan Yu's people had already started to act. Su Chen looked at the traffic in the distance, thinking deeply. He knew in his heart that this variety show was a special show for the police, and it was quite novel to use the way of catching fugitives to promote their new technology. For example, the face recognition inspection system. Su Chen had reason to suspect that it had been deployed throughout the city for social security. The efficiency of the police should not be underestimated. Once the deployment of these two experts is completed, committing a crime again is equivalent to falling into a trap. Relying on his experience working in the police department, Su Chen knew in his heart that at most 3 hours, the Internet police expert would be able to obtain the right to mobilize all surveillance in the entire Jinling city. These 3 hours are a precious window period, and also his last chance to commit a crime. First of all, my case must be big. Within 3 hours, the police must be involved in a big case. The clues are complicated and confusing. I can delay them. Only in this way can I buy time and opportunities for the follow-up. Secondly, I must try my best to eliminate my suspicion. Not only must I clean up the scene, but it is also best to make an alibi. But Su Chen frowned. There is a law in criminal investigation science that all actions must leave traces. If he wants to solve a big case, his actions will be more frequent and will leave more traces. This will increase his suspicion. The 2 points he just raised are obviously mutually exclusive. How can I solve a big case and clear my suspicion? At this time, the voice of my companion came from the side. Brothers, I'll go first. We'll meet again in the evening. The police officer who was in a hurry to go home for his child's birthday said goodbye to Su Chen and the others. They had met each other in the conference room before. Su Chen knew that the man's name was Wang Ping, the name of the other younger police officer was Zhao Long. After Wang Ping left, Su Chen asked Zhao Long. What are your plans? Zhao Long was a little embarrassed. Actually, I want to take half a day off to spend time with my wife and children, and come back in the evening. Is there anything to do in the evening that requires you to come back? Su Chen asked. He remembered that team leader Bai Su said before leaving that they would gather tomorrow morning. Zhao Long shrugged and sighed. Wang Ping and I are responsible for the public security supervision near Jinling University recently. We have to watch the class at night until the students leave school. I am satisfied with this half-day off. Su Chen nodded, thinking, this public security supervision seems to be unique to Jinling University, and it is definitely not set up for no reason. His thoughts explored his memory, recalling the vast files he had browsed in his mind before. At this moment, Su Chen seemed to be in a library, a museum of crime. Suddenly, his eyes lit up, and a file in his mind slowly opened, revealing the details of the case. This is an unsolved mystery that once shocked the whole country. Jinling University corpse dismemberment case. 20 years ago, a girl from Jinling University walked out of the school gate at night and never came back. In the following days, large and small body parts were found and gradually pieced together into the appearance of this girl. The cruel means of murder and the strong anti-detection ability of the murderer once cast the city into a shadow. This is an unsolved case, which means that it has not been solved and the murderer is still at large. The director resigned and the family members were left crying. This is the biggest shame of the public security organs in the past 20 years. It should be since then that the public security has set up a special checkpoint at Jinling University, with police officers on duty to protect students who have left school. Su Chen knew all the details of the unsolved case. Suddenly, he thought of his predicament and an idea suddenly came to his mind. Why not take these police experts to review this case? Yes, he doesn't have to work hard to create a big case. There are already countless unsolved cases in the world. Just use them directly. Especially those unsolved cases of the century, which once trapped the police in a quagmire, can naturally delay the police's pace again for Su Chen, and he himself can be said to be one of the people in the world who is most familiar with these cases. When variety shows enter the cases, it is his home court. It's a bit too much to expose the scars of the police nakedly, ahaha. However, since this variety show is a cat-and-mouse game, it is not bad to give the police some stimulation appropriately, and it also has the side effect of increasing the ratings. He can also get more attention and gain a lot of popularity. Su Chen pulled his collar and showed an imperceptible smile. He suggested to Zhao Long. I don't have anything to do today, let's go to check the sentry with you in the evening. Beside him, Zhao Long seized the opportunity of this holiday, and seemed to have something urgent to do. He didn't think much and nodded directly. Okay, it's just right that the three of us can get together after the shift and have a midnight snack. It can also be regarded as a formal acquaintance. The two said goodbye. The headquarters of the live show of Chasing Murderers, on the big screen of Su Chen's live broadcast room, the barrage of comments was like a surging river, endless. Chapter 8 Preparation of Liquid Explosives, Su Chen's Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8, Preparation of Liquid Explosives, Su Chen's Plan. Brothers, I'm new here. Isn't this the murderer's live broadcast? Where is the murderer? Why do I only see a police officer? You read it right. This is a murderer in police disguise. Remember the domain name of this site, Taiwan Novel Network. Fuck, how to play. Su Chen has heard the expert's plan now. Shouldn't he stop while he's ahead and run away? Why did he take the initiative to ask to work the night shift with his colleagues? He's not the kind of person who would do unnecessary things. I have a hunch that he must be making trouble. How to do it? There are two policemen around him. If he doesn't run now, he will not be able to run away even if he wants to when the internet police call up the city's surveillance. In front of the big screen, the chief director Chen Qiming looked at the bullet screen that said, he must be making trouble again, and his hand holding the water cup trembled slightly, although because of Su Chen's operation, the number of viewers of the live broadcast of the pursuit of the murderer has now exceeded 3 million, but he would rather Su Chen run away now. Su Chen escapes, the police chase, Su Chen can't escape. This is what this program should be like. Now Su Chen's variables are too big, and he is afraid that he will make some more tricks. Chen Qiming, an old director who has shot more than 80 movies, feels that he is a little bit out of control. There are more than 1 billion people in the country. Why did I choose such a person to be the murderer? Director Chen sighed, but he had to face it even if he didn't want to. He took a deep breath, calmed his emotions, and prepared himself mentally. Then he gritted his teeth and said to the staff around him. Switch Su Chen's live broadcast to the big screen. I want to see his current movements. The staff was stunned for a moment, and then lowered his head to operate. From the live broadcast of the pursuit of the murderer till now, a total of 22 Sky-Eye cameras have been turned on to provide the experts with images, as well as some close-ups of the group's actions. More than 20 live broadcast rooms have squeezed their backstage screens like mosaics. Now, in order to monitor Su Chen, the chief director actually opened a large screen alone, and Su Chen was also enjoying special treatment. The live broadcast room images were quickly projected. On the large screen, Su Chen had changed into a black sweater and a peaked cap on his head. He walked along the street without stopping, and soon entered an inconspicuous small shop. This is a laboratory converted from a ground-floor shop, opened next to Jinling Friendship Middle School, because there is a chemical experiment in the high school entrance examination. There are many such laboratories near each junior high school, which are specially rented to students to practice chemical experiments. However, such small laboratories are always opened by some people for speculation, and the management is far from that of regular laboratories. I'm renting a small lab for my brother. I want a single room, quiet, for 2 hours. Su Chen walked to the middle-aged shopkeeper sitting at the door of the lab and asked naturally, as experienced as a regular customer. Okay, 100 yuan an hour. The middle-aged man did not hesitate at all, stretched out his hand and took out a key from the key chain, handed it to Su Chen, and added. You need to pay a deposit in advance, 200. Su Chen nodded and took out his wallet. Of course, he found this wallet from the staff of the program group. When he first saw the banknotes inside, Su Chen was stunned for a moment. After all, in this era of mobile payment, banknotes are really rare. This money may be the private money hidden by the young man of the program group because he is afraid that his wife will check the mobile phone bill. Watching Su Chen easily enter the single room of the lab, the barrage was also discussing heatedly. Think about it carefully, this kind of small laboratory that takes advantage of loopholes is indeed very chaotic in management. Letting some junior high school students touch chemical reagents casually is so dangerous. There is no other way. The high school entrance exam is coming. You see, the place is basically fully rented. One room is 100 yuan per hour. The money is really made quickly. I also found out that in education, as long as it is related to the high school entrance exam, the profit is not low. My child has one-on-one tutoring, and it costs 200 to 300 yuan per hour. Am I the only one who found out that Su Chen used the money of the guy from the previous program group? Me too. Although it is very expensive, Su Chen did not spend his own money. This guy is really miserable. It is still lying in the trunk. Why did Su Chen go to the laboratory? This small broken laboratory has very few reagents, and they are all weak reagents. They are useless except for exams. Yes, I am worried for him. The internet police Duan Yu has already started to prepare his surveillance network. Su Chen is still wasting time here. When the time comes, his substitution of police officers will be exposed. Isn't he finished? While the audience was anxious, Chen Qiming, the director of the program group's general control room, breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Su Chen's chemical knowledge did not seem to be high. There were too few reagents in this small laboratory, and the instruments were very simple. It was impossible for him to tinker with anything dangerous. However, in the live broadcast room, Su Chen looked confident and calm, which made the director's heart feel uneasy. Su Chen walked through rows of glass instrument cabinets, as if he quickly selected some instruments, and then assembled them on the laboratory table with his hands and feet. He placed the round-bottomed flask under an alcohol lamp, gently screwed the conduit into the rubber stopper, and then connected the straight condenser tube, liquid collector, etc. This set of instruments was supported by an iron stand. In less than 10 minutes, a complete reaction and purification combination device was already on the table. After this set, not only the operation was professional, but also Su Chen's unique focused demeanor made netizens stunned. Damn it, I wish I could be so agile when I took the high school entrance examination. Isn't it easy to get a perfect score? Above, are you sure junior high school students can do this? It's beyond the scope. As for this standardized operating procedure, I would not believe it if Su Chen had not stayed in the laboratory for 2 years. Seeing Su Chen's unhurried actions, the staff behind the murder live were sweating. In such a small laboratory, he shouldn't be able to get anything done, Su Chen in the laboratory, after completing the assembly of the preparation device, opened the bag in his hand. Inside were 2 heavy transparent glass bottles and a brown glass bottle. A pungent smell came out and drifted along the vents: concentrated nitric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, and glycerin. Su Chen carefully took out the 2 bottles of reagents and poured them over while thinking silently. When he was in the expert team's office before, he was really surprised when he heard the methods of internet police expert Duan Yu. Once the high-density camera network is built, not only will what he has done before be immediately exposed, but it will also make him a turtle in the urn. Every move he made, there were countless eyes staring at him, so he didn't need to commit any crime. He could just surrender. This surveillance network is like the eye of the expert team, and now, he must make this eye blind for a while. The method is simple and crude. He planned to use nitroglycerin, which is liquid explosive. Based on Su Chen's knowledge, it is not difficult to make this kind of explosive. It is nothing more than cooling and mixing 2 substances, fuming nitric acid and glycerin, and then purifying the resulting oil. Dragon Kingdom regulations prohibit the sale of sulfuric acid to anyone without a chemical certificate. However, sulfuric acid is used as a test material for high school entrance examination chemistry experiments. There are still many small chemical supply stores that sell small amounts privately for high school entrance examination students to buy and practice. As long as you don't buy it with glycerin, you won't be suspected. After obtaining the alchemy skill on the star map, it seems that all operations are already familiar to me. Su Chen hummed softly, his two hands wearing white latex gloves flying around the reagent. Under the heating of the alcohol lamp, reddish-brown nitrogen dioxide gas spurted out from the tube. After being dried with concentrated sulfuric acid, he injected it into the concentrated nitric acid at the other end, bubbling. After a while, Su Chen took out the oversaturated concentrated nitric acid from the ice tank and added some neutral desiccant powder to it with a medicine spoon to absorb the small amount of water. Finally, in the flask containing concentrated nitric acid, a newly prepared brown liquid was taken out. The mouth of the bottle even emitted bursts of white smoke, indicating the danger of this substance. Fuming nitric acid. With it, you are only one step away from nitroglycerin. The subsequent preparation is simple. Mix fuming nitric acid and glycerin at low temperature, separate and collect a layer of yellow oil generated underground. Then react, purify and collect. After repeated boring steps, Su Chen collected half a beaker, about 200 milliliters of nitroglycerin. With a slight shake, the brown oily liquid surged inside the beaker, reflecting the sunlight. Like amber, dangerous, and charming, Su Chen was very careful with his movements, because this kind of liquid explosive is extremely easy to explode. Even if it is shaken to a certain extent, it will detonate. If the 200 milliliters of nitroglycerin in his hand exploded, it would be no less powerful than a piece of 300 to 400 grams of TNT. By then, the whole laboratory would be blown into ruins. When he saw clearly what Su Chen was holding, the entire live broadcast room seemed to be quiet for a few seconds. Holy shit, what is that? It looks awesome. Is it useful? This is explosives, liquid explosives. In the last century, it was often used to open mountains for railway tunnels. Later, it was banned because it was too easy to detonate. I seem to have heard of this. There was an old news story where a ship carrying liquid explosives exploded at the dock, and the entire dock was wiped out. The power was quite terrifying. Damn it, am I reading that right? The preparation of liquid explosives requires a superb purification reaction process. Su Chen actually made it in a small laboratory. Awesome, I couldn't even succeed in the university laboratory. He definitely has a degree certificate in chemistry. It's too dangerous. Fortunately, this is just a show, and Su Chen is just a fugitive. We should be grateful that such a capable person did not go astray. And in the headquarters of the program Chasing Live, Chief Director Chen Qiming and all the staff stared at the crystal liquid in Su Chen's hand as if they had seen a ghost stand still for a long time. If this thing explodes, what will be the consequences? Chen Qiming asked the people around him with a trembling voice. It's equivalent to 6 or 7 grenades. It's not a problem to blow up an off-road vehicle. A staff member who knew chemistry said uncertainly. After hearing this, Director Chen Qiming's eyes darkened, as if he was suffering from Su Chen's PTSD. What kind of talent did he find? He was originally looking for an actor, but ended up finding a real crime master. Call all the backup personnel of the program team to gather. Yes. After a while, many young people wearing black clothes and black pants, with the logo of the program team printed on their clothes, gathered in the hall of the studio. In the program Chasing Murder Live, hundreds of backup personnel, also called Men in Black, were arranged. The role of these people is similar to that of ordinary variety shows, and they are used to pass task cards, variety show information, etc. to the participating guests. At this moment, in the eyes of Director Chen Qiming, it is clear that he regards these people as his life-saving straw. You guys hurry up and follow Su Chen in real time to ensure that the program will not lose control. Take a special car. Got it, Director. The black-clad man of the program team nodded, and then led the black-clad team and left the hall like lightning. while several people were talking. Su Chen in the live broadcast room had already returned the laboratory deposit, put the explosives into his backpack, and walked out with them. Check Su Chen's trajectory and location. Chen Qiming wiped the cold sweat from his head and breathed rapidly. The studio immediately became busy, and the sound of keyboards was endless. More than 10 seconds passed. A technician suddenly raised his head from the computer. Su Chen is now heading to the power distribution center in the southern area of the university town in Jinling City. Bang. The water cup in Chen Qiming's hand fell to the ground. What is he doing there? Chapter 9. What's in your schoolbag? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. What's in your schoolbag? Jinling City University Town is across the street from the Jinling City Public Security Bureau. Diamond Suit, Diamond Suit, Diamond Suit, the power distribution center in the south of University Town dominates Jinling University, University Town Commercial Street, and Snack City. In addition to the traffic signal system with independent power supply, all other system power supplies are controlled and dispatched here, at this moment, in the hall of the power distribution center. Attention personnel from all departments. Duan Yu, an internet police expert from the Murder Live program team, will come to our power distribution center soon to discuss the transfer of surveillance rights to the Jinling City Public Security Bureau. A middle-aged man wearing a suit one size too big spoke loudly, and there were many people around him, all wearing work clothes. The middle-aged man named Huang Tao, the director of the power distribution center, summoned relevant staff to urgently announce an important matter. Everyone, here we have always maintained strict discipline, high efficiency, and strict security control. This is an opportunity to cooperate with the Jinling Public Security Bureau. Everyone must pay attention to the cooperation and show your best side, Director Huang Tao said, with a proud smile on his face. He has been a leader here for 8 years and has never had a problem. This time, if you can cooperate well and use the resources of the power distribution center to catch the murderer who is very popular on the internet, it will be a great achievement for you. How many people have this kind of opportunity to show their face in front of the whole country? Huang Tao feels that his career will soon reach a higher level. As soon as he finished speaking, whispers from the staff could be heard around him. Let me tell you, no wonder the live broadcast signal of murder chase here has been cut off just now and is not allowed to be watched. It turns out that it was included in the program plan. Duan Yu, hey, it's worth meeting such a famous network expert. The weight of this live broadcast of chasing the murderer seems to be quite important. There are so many resources to coordinate the cooperation of our entire center. A new intern girl opened her mouth in surprise. An older security guard not far away seemed to know something. This program is not as simple as a variety show. I heard from an old comrade of mine that the public security system put its internal criminal investigation drills on the stage in the form of a variety show. Criminal investigation practice game. Some of the surrounding staff seemed to have heard of the name and repeated it with suspicion in their tone. It's an old tradition of public security and has a very historical origin. The old security man smacked his lips and said vaguely. I heard that this thing is closely related to the top 10 unsolved cases in our Dragon Kingdom. The new intern girl was listening fascinated. Suddenly, I felt someone hit me behind me. Who is it? She turned around warily, looking unhappy. However, what he saw was a young man of the same age wearing a black sweatshirt. The young man is tall and handsome, carrying a school bag. He looks like an inexperienced college student who has just graduated. Seeing the other party's displeased expression, he bowed apologetically and whispered. Sorry, I was pushed by someone from behind. This person is none other than Su Chen. The school bag he was carrying was not filled with books, but liquid explosives. However, after seeing Su Chen's appearance, most of the intern girl's anger dissipated instantly. Well, this guy is definitely not a bad guy, and he didn't do it on purpose. It's okay, there are so many people here, it's inevitable to touch them. She waved her hand and smiled kindly at Su Chen. Brother, which department are you in? Are you also an intern? Su Chen pretended to think for a moment, and then an idea came to his mind. I also just came to the surveillance and deployment department for an internship. You know, it's on the 3rd floor. It turned out to be a colleague from the surveillance department. The little girl silently wrote down this information, thinking about whether she should pretend to meet him accidentally after get off work, then find some topics to talk about, and if you like, we can walk together for a while. Suddenly, she was stunned for a moment, and then smiled. Brother, I remember that the surveillance and deployment department is not on the 3rd floor. It should be on the 4th floor. I just came here not long ago, so I forgot about my errand. Su Chen patted his head pretending to be embarrassed and smiled. I've always been a bit of a road addict. This place is so big that I haven't even written down the map yet. It's okay, it's normal. The girl kindly comforted Su Chen. She actually took the initiative to share her embarrassing story, covered her mouth and said. When I first came here, didn't I have to get familiar with the master? I got lost after following the master. Maybe this is your master's problem. If I'm surrounded by a girl like you, my attention will definitely be on her. Su Chen said calmly. Hearing this, the little girl's cheeks suddenly blushed slightly. After going back and forth, she suddenly felt that the distance between the two people had become much closer. However, Su Chen didn't tell her that by now she was probably famous across the country, with tens of millions of viewers watching through the miniature sky eyes. I can't wait to see this girl's expression after knowing the truth. Ha 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 ha. The little girl is still too young, so Su Chen got her out of her in just a few moments. This wave is called the immortal pointing the way. Let the wolf into the house. Laugh. Not a loss. Chatting and laughing with a fugitive with explosives in his bag, I can brag about it for the rest of my life. After a while, the girl took the initiative to bring up the topic again. I don't know when the internet police expert will come. We can't get the live broadcast signal of the murderer's pursuit live broadcast all day. I heard it's very exciting. I really want to watch it. Wait until you get off work, and you can watch it later. There will be replays. Su Chen started talking while observing the surroundings. Soon, his eyes were locked on the entrance of the stairs. The intern girl opened her mouth and wanted to talk about something else, but she didn't get the chance. Okay, everyone, stop arguing. Director Huang Tao's voice interrupted the conversation of the staff, and the hall suddenly became quiet. Director Huang Tao cleared his throat and gave the order to disband. After you know this, hurry back to your posts and don't delay today's schedule. Everyone in the hall looked at each other. Okay, let's not join in the fun. I have something to do. Let's meet in the cafeteria tonight. The familiar colleagues said hello a few times, and then hurried back to their respective posts. Well, goodbye. The little girl waved to Su Chen with some reluctance. For the first time, she felt that the meeting was too short. However, there is no need to rush. After all, everyone works in the same organization. They will meet each other sooner or later. There will be many opportunities to meet in the future. She thought happily. Goodbye. Su Chen also waved to her, turned around and walked towards the stairs. Walked more than 10 steps away, Su Chen reached into his pocket, took out the girl's internship certificate and work card, and silently said in his heart, I'm sorry. He wanted to get into the distribution center, and these things were indispensable. The reason why he stole the intern's ID was mainly because the intern was about the same age as himself, so it was not easy to be exposed. Moreover, the intern's ID required less personal information verification than the formal employees, so it was convenient to use. However, there was a small accident in the middle of the process. The girl's pocket was too tight. Even if he had the ghost hand skill, the feeling of touching was always unavoidable, so he could only bump into her, and at the moment when the other party's attention was distracted by anger, he succeeded. Su Chen walked up the stairs. Soon he reached the 4th floor. The place he was going to was called the Monitoring System Electricity Operation Department, which was set up in the distribution center operation area. To get there, he had to pass the access control of the gate of the distribution center operation area. Hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? In front of the door of the distribution center operation area, the female safety inspector stretched out her hand and stopped Su Chen. I'm a new intern in the monitoring system department. Today is my first time here. The master is taking me to familiarize myself. In the end, I followed the master's ass and lost him. Su Chen smiled apologetically, took off his schoolbag and put it at the security check. The female security inspector heard this and secretly complained, which master is so irresponsible again, and the student has to find it by himself in the end. She didn't know at this time that the Sky Eye live broadcast system above her head had already captured the whole picture. Su Chen's parroting is too much, ha 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 ha. Apart from anything else, this responsibility is good. If I encountered such a security check, I would definitely panic. Wait a minute. Not right, there is a security check here. Actually, this kind of place is normal. Oh my god, that backpack contains the explosives that Su Chen just prepared at home. How can this pass the security check? Isn't this a dead end? I wonder what expression this security inspector will have in a while. Sure enough, he still can't avoid it. There is a thermos cup, take it out, what's in it? After the backpack was x-rayed, the security inspector checked the screen on the computer, frowned slightly, turned his head and asked. The atmosphere at the scene suddenly became tense. Chapter 10, Get Away with It. Plant the bomb. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10, Get Away with It. Plant a bomb. It's bad, it's going to be exposed. Even if Su Chen has great skills this time, can he get away with it under the eyes of the security inspector? Look at the security guy standing next to the access control. He has already noticed Su Chen. If there is any problem with Su Chen, the other party will definitely take action immediately. Is the live broadcast of chasing the murderer going to end at the most exciting part? Su Chen, who was in front of the access control, still looked calm in the face of the female inspector's questions. It's water. Su Chen replied, then he unscrewed the bottle and shook it. This action made the audience in the live broadcast room feel excited. The female security inspector smelled the air and there was no peculiar smell. Is it water? Then you can drink a sip, okay? She stared at Su Chen and said. The barrage reached its peak at this moment. Everyone wanted to know, what should Su Chen do? What are the serious consequences of drinking this liquid explosive? Is there anyone who can tell me? You can't even eat this stuff with your heels. Drinking it is no different from seeking death. Nitroglycerin is not only toxic, but also easily absorbed by the human body. It can penetrate almost everywhere, such as the skin and mucous membranes. Even touching it with your hands will cause poisoning. But this is also a medicine used to relieve angina pectoris. The dosage is very small, only 0.5 milligrams at a time. Once it is overdosed, it will cause low blood pressure, coma, and even cardiac arrest. So it's useless for Su Chen to hold it in his mouth without swallowing it, right? Nitroglycerin will be absorbed by the oral mucosa, and the effect is even better than swallowing it. The above is the correct answer. Fuck, this is a bit scary. If it is accidentally spilled on your hands, then there is no hope. What should Su Chen do? Either give up or run away. That's right. You can't really joke with your life. However, it was beyond the expectations of all netizens. After hearing the order to drink a sip, Su Chen did not show any panic on his face, he just nodded and said. Okay, I'm a little thirsty. Then, he held up the large thermos cup, drank a big sip, swallowed it with a gulp, and looked normal. The barrage in the live broadcast room suddenly disappeared. At this moment, netizens suspected that they had seen it wrong, and forgot to type in astonishment. The security inspector in front of the access control was completely unaware of the danger. She saw Su Chen took a sip and did not show any bad performance. So she nodded and let him in. This was originally a normal scene, but the barrage of the audience in the live broadcast room of the whole network has filled the entire screen. Nothing. He is actually fine. This is not scientific. Could it be that Su Chen did not bring explosives at all? It's all the fault of the program team. They cut the live broadcast screen for no reason before. Something must have happened to Su Chen from leaving the laboratory to the power distribution center. No, isn't there explosives in the cup? Why didn't Su Chen have any problem after taking a sip? Am I the only one who is curious about this? Anyway, he has passed the security check now. If he brought explosives, does this mean that such a thing will happen in real life? Su Chen is sounding the alarm for us in disguise. I guess the security of the entire distribution station will have to be upgraded after the live broadcast. It's a good thing it's on the show. If this happened in real life, it would be too scary. In the power distribution center, Su Chen has already passed the security check. Before leaving, he asked the safety inspector. This is my first time here. I can't find the location. Can you tell me where the power supply department of the monitoring system is? Let me think. After you pass the corridor, it should be on the left. It's easy to find. The safety inspector looked at the student who was a little lost in the direction and patiently guided him. Thank you. Su Chen showed her his internship certificate and smiled. 4th floor, monitoring system power supply department, energy dispatching department, central system room. The room in front of me is full of machines with wires plugged in. They control the power supply of the monitoring system in the entire southern area of the university town. If this center is destroyed, not only will the official monitoring system of the entire area be cut off, but the video storage of the monitoring system will also be damaged. Su Chen locked the door casually, unscrewed the thermos cup, put his finger into the cup mouth, and picked out a smaller glass bottle from the water. The double-layer liner of the thermos cup affected the imaging ability of the X-ray at the security checkpoint, and it blocked the small bottle very well. In the bottle, the yellowish oily liquid flowed slowly, revealing a hint of dangerous texture, nitroglycerin. Damn, it turned out to be this method. The people in the live broadcast room only realized it at this time. Is it feasible? I feel that the strange knowledge has increased again. Those who watched this live broadcast, should they all file a case with the public security system? After all, they learned some incredible things, that I watched 200 episodes of Conan and thought I had mastered all the criminal methods. Sure enough. Is there anyone better than you? 200 episodes is not enough, watch another 200 episodes. While netizens were discussing, Su Chen's hands were not idle either. He took off the smart watch on his wrist, removed the signal receiver and vibrator, and adjusted it to the strong vibration mode for incoming calls. Vibration is the detonation method of liquid explosives. As long as the vibration device is tied to the glass bottle, as long as Su Chen makes a phone call to the smartwatch, bang. The bomb will be detonated instantly. However, this is a program after all, and he can't really blow up the distribution center, so the watch vibrator and nitroglycerin are kept separately. The people in the program team are not fools, they will understand what they are doing and give feedback. After Su Chen did all this, he put on his backpack again, hurried back to the elevator, and left the distribution center. Everything seemed to be familiar. Even Su Chen himself was surprised at his calmness. I remember a line before, when you have watched more than 1,000 movies, you will find that there is nothing strange in this world, and he has also read more than 1,000 case files. Has he become a master of crime without knowing it? Distribution center, 1st floor hall. Internet police expert Duan Yu walked in quickly with 2 internet police colleagues. In one afternoon, he had already contacted the surveillance networks in the central, southern and northern districts of Jinling City. Now, the only thing left is the university town. Officer Duan, you are here. Huang Tao, the director of the power distribution center, saw the car of the Chasing the Murderer program team approaching, and had already brought a large group of people to greet them. He smiled warmly at Duan Yu. These are all colleagues in the surveillance department. If there is anything that needs cooperation, we will definitely cooperate actively. That while saying this, he did not forget to look around, trying to find the live broadcast camera to appear in the shot. Unfortunately, the black technology such as the micro sky eye is silent and invisible, and it shoots in all directions in high definition, so he could not find any traces of shooting at all. Internet police officer Duan Yu nodded calmly and said, I am now applying for the right to call the surveillance camera in the University City area. I have contacted the Surveillance Management Bureau and now need your dispatch authority and equipment support. I hope to centralize the surveillance camera footage of the entire University City area in the expert group office of the Jinling Public Security Bureau and connect it with our face recognition Skynet program. After saying that, he glanced at his internet police colleague, who immediately understood and opened his briefcase. He took out the prepared materials and laptop computer and presented them to his supervisor Huang Tao. Huang Tao nodded immediately and said, "Officer Duan, don't worry, we will definitely assist you in completing the deployment as quickly as possible. Our department's management has always been known for its strict and efficient management. In the past 5 years, there has never been any safety accident. The maintenance of the entire system is also one of the best in the country. Especially in terms of security settings, we have set up access control in each important department's concentrated area, added safety monitoring points, and have security personnel and safety inspectors on duty. It can be said that not even a fly can fly over. I guarantee that there will be no mistakes during the pursuit of the murderer." This was said to Duan Yu, and Huang Tao deliberately said it in front of the camera, which inevitably had the intention of showing off. His tone was confident, with a hint of humility. Unfortunately, the direction of the barrage was very different from what he imagined. Netizens have already started to prepare to watch the show. "Director Huang, are you still in the hall? Your backyard is on fire. I wonder what Director Huang would think if he knew that his control room had just been bombed. He must be very confused, that I know why Su Chen planted the bomb. It turns out that he was ambushing Officer Duan here. Although this method is dangerous, it is very smart. It is like a martial arts fight, where lime blinds the eyes. First, kill the opponent's eyes, especially the information sources on the internet. In this way, the actions of the expert group will inevitably be damaged. However, there are still many people in the expert group who have not taken action. These people are also first-class elites. I just don't know how Su Chen will deal with it later." While discussing in the barrage, Duan Yu and his party have arrived at the elevator door leading to the 4th floor. Huang Tao took the lead in pressing the button, and then the car body fell and the elevator door slowly opened. At this time, everyone realized that there was someone in the elevator. A young man in a black sweater, wearing headphones, lowered his head, stared at the mobile phone in his hand, and swiped it happily. Maybe he was too fascinated by watching the video. The young man walked out of the elevator, walked straight through the crowd, and walked past Duan Yu, without noticing this well-known internet police expert at all. Duan Yu frowned slightly, as if he felt that the young man was somewhat familiar. He could not help but glance at the other person. However, the young man lowered his head and wore a baseball cap, so his face could not be seen at all. Beside Duan Yu, Huang Tao clicked his tongue. "Officer Duan, don't mind. This should be an intern from a certain department." Alas, young people nowadays, they lower their heads to play with their mobile phones all day long, and they don't even look at their feet when they walk. "Come on, Officer Duan, let's get on the elevator quickly and get the business done." Hearing this, Duan Yu was anxious about his plan and didn't think much about it. He followed Huang Tao and his group into the elevator.